I want to move it on to something else, which is more, I think, the general environment around the club and around English football. Something happened on Saturday night, which I found shocking, even after many years in living and working in this country. Just simply because it's not something you would see in Italy, in France. We said you certainly wouldn't see it in Glasgow, which is Harry Maguire gets himself sent off foolishly. He knows that his manager is probably going to get sacked.
Yeah.
And he goes out to dinner to celebrate his dad's birthday. Now, obviously, Harry Maguire has a right. Let's be very clear. I'm not criticizing this, right? But he goes out in a restaurant that then's like, oh, look, the Maguires are here. Let's put this on our Instagram page, right? Publicizes it.
Yeah.
His own sister goes and publicizes it. It's not a good look, and it's weird to me that that Maguire wouldn't have figured out on his own. And I'm wondering, does this mean that the environment around the club is such, like, I would assume they've got...
Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Considering he's your club captain who comes out after the Liverpool defeat saying, oh, I'm here because I'm forced to. What? Sorry?
Yeah.
It's not my job to analyze the game. Sorry?
But
the guy who did that stupid celebration scoring for England against Albania. I was going to be mean to Albanian players. Sorry. So that's what. And after playing bad for like I don't know how many weeks.
The guy who went on holiday and ended up in prison, right?
So are you really surprised?
No. But this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the atmosphere around it. Because if I have somebody like that, right, who either because he's unaware or whatever, makes the kind of decision that makes for very, very poor optics, right? We don't see Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi out partying the cumbia after they've been humiliated and after his manager's about to get sacked and he got sent off, right? I don't believe I've ever seen that, right? And it's not just him. I don't think I've seen Frank Lampard do it. I don't think I've seen Steven Gerrard do it, right? Shouldn't there be somebody at the club who, after this game, after this humiliation, says, lads, tonight, please, low profile,
lack of
right?
leadership again,
from everyone. I'm not saying Maguire can't celebrate with his dad. Of course, get a private room, make an arrangement with the restaurant. Guys, they're going in the back door, just their family, please, no social media, whatever. Somebody should be doing this. And does this speak to something larger about the club? That, leaving aside the football side, the PR side is managed completely ass backwards as well.
Well, maybe they should have the social media monitoring team. Maybe tell them, obviously, because they'll know.
Yeah, where's your friend Phil Lynch and Brown?
Where's
Lynchy?
They've got a bespoke team that tells all these players what the social media things they're doing. So maybe the emphasis is on the wrong part. But listen, it needs common sense. And Jules is right. Some of the things that Maguire has done in the last month or so have been very odd. It lacks kind of expertise and lacks kind of common sense. You're right. I don't think you can complain about the guy going out for his father's birthday, but yeah. Tone it down, avoid public glare. Don't have pictures taken of people and say, look, I'm sorry, I can't do it today because I've had a really bad result. It doesn't look good. Just say that.
Yeah. I'll send you a signed shirt a week later. It's not, but again, if Maguire's so focused on football rather than PR that he doesn't get it, I am shocked that the club doesn't have somebody telling telling Maguire, Harry, you represent the club. This is what you're going to do. He's like, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Fine, sure, I'll do it. He's not a bad guy, right? No. All right, final point on this, because, Augie, you and I were texting about this yesterday. And I think, obviously, United are a massive club. It's a very big club, blah, blah, blah. They keep telling they're the biggest club in the world. What I think is interesting is they're one of those big clubs, a little bit like Milan as well, who've really only had 2 periods of sustained success in their history. Now, those 2 periods were very long periods because they coincided with Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson. But United have won 20 English titles. 18 of them were won by either Busby or Fergie. Every single European trophy they've won was won by either Busby or Fergie. The vast bulk of their FA Cup, they won some in the early 80s, but in general, I think it's more than half were won by Busby or Fergie. The 2 of them, of course, combined were there for about half a century. Yeah. But the other half a century was pretty freaking grim for a club that size. Yeah. Is there anything to take away from that other than the fact that maybe you should put football first and get a great manager? And that should have been, rather than believing your own hype about the biggest this, the biggest that. Because some clubs have won steadily through the years almost by inertia. Others have not. United are one of those clubs that really have not.
Yeah, I mean, I think other than maybe Real Madrid and perhaps Bayern Munich, clubs that absolutely dominate. That the clubs that are successful over the period of time have done it with a big personality at the helm, whether it's a manager or an owner. So, you look at United with Ferguson, Busby, Liverpool with Shankly, Chelsea with Abramovich, Milan with Berlusconi as the owner. I think in the absence of a strong personality, clubs do struggle. I think that I don't think you can say that United haven't been successful outside the Busby and Fergie years, because, like you say, it's half a century of the history. That's almost half of the history. So,
but the other half, I'm sorry, but this is the thing. Sorry, Mark. Those 50 years, right? United were dominant, one of the greatest clubs ever. The other 50 years, they were barely Aston Villa in terms of actual success, especially and relative to their fan size. Sorry?
You basically go back before the Second World War, because the last 70 years have been pretty much Ferguson and Busby with, a couple of other managers in between who won FA Cup. So,
well, no, you're talking about what,
sure
like 10 years between Busby and Ferguson, if not more, actually. I know Busby came back. And then you're talking about the last 7 years or 8 years post-Fergie. That's the reality of the club. I guess what I'm saying is success isn't something you're automatically entitled to. It's something you have to earn. And
absolutely,
I'm kind of surprised they don't look at, or I wonder if maybe it shouldn't be a theme that say like, what made us great before? Rather than crapping on about the United DNA and all this nonsense, what did it before is we had two guys that were super, super bright, and they were given time, of course, well, Busby less so, and they achieved incredible things, and they revolutionized the game in their own way.
You can't find some
the problem with that is that, and that is a kind of a question right at the heart of Man United. Do the Glazers and Ed Woodward want a personality at the club who's bigger than them? Does Ed Woodward want a bigger personality than him? Do you know what I mean? That is from nobody since Ed Woodward has taken charge of the club has been allowed to become a bigger personality. Even Mourinho was kind of kept in a box a little bit. They don't want a Fergie figure for whatever reason. They don't want somebody to control the club from top to bottom. As soon as Fergie left, it's telling us within an hour of Ferguson being announced that it was leaving, they opened a Twitter account. They were so frightened of Ferguson, they wouldn't even have a Twitter account. But since he's left, the Glazers and Woodward have taken over. They don't want somebody else to come in, a Klopp, a Guardiola, a Ferguson. Somebody will dominate the club from top to bottom. And that's what they need. They need a football man to dominate from top to bottom. Until that happens, until the money men are in control of everything, nothing will change.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.